Hi. Today I want to talk with you about 7 different ways that you can use our active listening lessons that you receive each month in our core audio. Also, you can do this with the listening fluency lessons you get each week on our website. However, before you do these exercises, it's very important that you understand completely the listening lesson. That is, you have already listened multiple times and you have no problem with the vocabulary and any idioms that might be there. That's important for getting the most out of these 7 exercises. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the first 3 and I'm going to demonstrate how they are done. So the first one is the easiest. It's called listen and repeat. You've probably done it before. And the reason it's easy is because you can go at your own pace and you can use really short phrases, you can use full sentences, or if you want to challenge yourself, you can do multiple sentences at a time. And it's really simple. You just listen, pause the recording, and try to repeat it just like the native speaker said it. I'm going to demonstrate now with the lesson on the marathon, Falja Singh. So I'm going to play, stop, repeat, and play again. Watch.
Running a marathon has always been a test of human strength and willpower.
Running a marathon has always been a test of human strength and willpower.
To run a 42-kilometer race
is
impressive for people in their 20s and 30s. But almost unheard of for the elderly.
So that's it. Just like that. Listen and repeat. And if you do that for the entire lesson, you'll get used to saying the phrases and the sentences just like the native speaker does. And it will help prepare you for the next series of activities. And those are called shadowing. Now, if you don't know what shadowing is, it is similar to listen and repeat, but it's a little bit more challenging because you need to listen to the native speaker and repeat in real time as the native speaker goes forward and telling the story. And it's challenging because you have to listen and speak at the same time. Now, shadowing is important because it trains you to speak in the same way that a native speaker is speaking. And when I say that, I'm talking about the intonation, the pronunciation, the speed, the flow of the language. In some ways, speaking a foreign language or even your native language is very similar to playing music. Music also has intonation, which is called a melody, and it also has rhythm, and it also has flow. So if you want to get good at music, you have to master that. And it's the same when learning to speak a foreign language like English. It's important to train yourself to speak like a native speaker in terms of your pronunciation and your intonation and overall flow, and especially emphasis. Certain words are emphasized more than others. So this is what shadowing trains you to do. Now, there are 2 activities with shadowing that I want you to practice. The first one is shadowing while reading the text. Now this is helpful because when you have the text in front of you, it serves as a bridge or a support feature. You can read and listen at the same time and really focus on how the language is being spoken. Also, because you need to focus on reading and listening, it stops your mind from wandering because you have a lot to do. When your mind wanders, that means when you start thinking about other things rather than what you're supposed to be doing. You might think about what you're going to eat for lunch or what you're going to do with your friends tomorrow or some problem at work. That's not what you want to do. You want to focus. So reading while listening and speaking, all 3 at the same time, will help focus your mind. Let me demonstrate shadowing while reading. And I'll work with the same piece of text and audio that you just listened to in the listen and repeat. Here I go. Running a marathon has always been a test of human strength and willpower. To run a 42-kilometer race is impressive for people in their 20s and 30s, but almost unheard of for the elderly. Amazingly, Falja Singh was 89 years old when he ran his first marathon. Okay, so this is how you shadow while reading. Now, that is challenging enough, and when you get comfortable with that, then you can move on and you can try, and this is step 3 of the 7 steps we're going to introduce, you can try shadowing without the text. And this is a little bit more difficult because, number 1, you don't have the text in front of you. You really have to listen carefully. And it's a little easier for your mind to wander. So you have to concentrate and try to do it without looking at the text. Let me try to demonstrate this for you. Running a marathon has always been a test of human strength and willpower. To run a 42-kilometer race is impressive for people in their 20s and 30s, but almost unheard of for the elderly. Okay, so that is shadowing. And if you practice shadowing every day, for a little bit, every day, day after day, week after week, and wow, you'll really get comfortable speaking as a native speaker speaks. Matching the pronunciation, the intonation, the flow, the emphasis, all of those are important components. And then when you develop a deep feeling for how a native speaker speaks, you can transfer that, because you've trained in it, you can transfer it to your conversations that you have with people, or our speaking fluency lessons. When you answer those questions and speak and expand, you can do it with the proper intonation and pronunciation and flow. So, what I want you to do before we talk about the next 4 activities in the next video, I want you to take an active listening lesson and make sure you understand it. It could be from last month, since you've heard it many times. And I want you to practice listen and repeat. I want you to practice shadowing while reading, and try to do shadowing without the text. And if you can do those 3 things and get good at it, then you'll be ready for the next video. So practice now.